Hello and welcome back to AQA GCSE Economics, topic 4, Human Resources, 4.4, Training, and we're looking today at the importance of training. Training is vital to a growing firm. New recruits and new systems in the workplace will mean that it is important for the workforce to fully understand their roles. So if you don't know what you're doing, how can you be productive? If you know what you're doing and you're comfortable with it, you're more likely to be motivated and more likely to be doing a good job. So make sure you're training your staff. Training takes three forms: induction training, on-the-job training, and off-the-job training. So induction training is right at the beginning of your job. So before you even start any real work, you should have induction training. At least to show you the ropes, show you the fire escapes, where the leads are, introduce you to people, who to go to for certain problems, as well as being able to show you exactly how to do your job. The second two are more once you are a bit more established. So there's on-the-job training and off-the-job training. On-the-job training usually means that you might be moving departments or something like that, or taking on extra responsibility. So you would shadow someone else who would show you the ropes and show you how to do the job. And you would get practice from just doing the job. The next one is off-the-job training, where you might go off-site to a particular training centre. Sometimes, if you're particularly lucky, they might take you to a nice hotel, and you'll receive training from a particular specialist within the area. So what I'd like to do now is read the case study on page 199, or if you're part of the COVID group, make sure that you're looking online at the case studies and answer the question. So the question about TalkTalk fined £400,000 is analyse why large companies in the UK might spend more on IT training for their employees. 6 marks for this one, so there should be a point. Contextualise analysis, so that means you need to talk about what is in the case study. We can't have it so it's just generic stuff. Okay? Again, I've put these two boxes here to give you a guide of how to answer 6-mark questions. So if you've already given it a go before you saw this part of the video, make sure you go back and make sure you have met all the criteria. So pause the video now if you haven't already had a go to have a go at this particular question. Okay, so to remind ourselves, induction training takes place when someone is new to a job, allows people time to get to know the business in a bit more informal fashion, make some new friends, be introduced to a mentor or some sort of guide to help you get established with when you first arrive. With the firm growing in size, recruitment is likely to see a range of new faces, so induction is really vital for this process. So even when I started at Reefham, the school made sure that I was buddied up with Mr. P, for example, and my boss, Miss McCoy, to be able to help me get established. And there were lots of people around Reefham that helped me get on board when I first started. So most companies will do the same. So what I'd like you to do at this point is see if you can remember your first day at secondary school. Was it a normal school day, or was it a day designed to introduce you to the system? So think when you first came up to secondary, when you were in year 6. Write an induction schedule for the first day of a new employee starting work at a high street fashion store. Maybe some of you already have a job, so you'll have experience of this. If you don't worry, just write what you think they would experience. So pause the video now to have a go at this particular activity. The next bit is on-the-job training. So on-the-job training takes place within the workplace. Often the cheapest way to do it, and therefore a lot of companies would do it this way. So it makes use of its own facilities for staff with a mentoring system in place to guide less experienced workers. So think about that. If you're the newbie at a workplace, or maybe even if you put yourself in the other person's shoes and you say you're the experienced one and someone is coming to you for help because they are new, think about what the advantages and disadvantages would be for that. And because I know I've got some bright ones out there, have a think about the extension. Think about whether off-the-job training would actually be a better way of doing things. Pause the video now to have a go. On-the-job training, did you get all these? So if you didn't, make sure you note them down. We've got advantages and disadvantages. So advantages such as gaining confidence to do the job, having someone to go to. It's a lot easier to judge the success of it when you are in the actual place that you're supposed to be doing the work. No extra costs involved because we're not sending anyone out. And it's easy to assess the quality of it because we see it. However, there might not be anyone actually available with the required skills to train people. Believe it or not everyone can be a very good teacher. The time constraints may actually impact on the quality of training. So if someone's trying to do their own work, whilst training you, they're not going to be necessarily focused on either task and may not do either task particularly well. And it can cause problems if the training is poor because people will start blaming each other as the reasons why they don't understand particular parts. Off-the-job training, however, you're going to have experienced staff who do this on a regular basis. So greater experience, more specialist, which should lead to a better quality of training. However, this is not always the case. Some people have been to off-site training before, I can say the same. In past jobs that I've been to, not always what it's cracked up to be. And it is particularly expensive once you add in travel and accommodation costs. So you've got to weigh up the pros and cons with each particular method. If you know the off-the-job training is good quality, it might be worthwhile. Otherwise, it's a bit of a risk. Now have a look at the case study on page 204. Obviously, if you're in the COVID group, then make sure that you are looking online to have a look at the case study that is available to you. And then, now have a look at the question. Okay, so the question is, analyse the possible reasons why these engineers are receiving off-the-job training. So you'll notice again, this is a 6-mark question. So you can use the boxes as before to help you as a guide of how to answer this question. Okay, remember a point, contextualized analysis. So I'm wanting to hear something about the engineers in here, not just generic stuff that can be taken anywhere, otherwise you lose half the marks. Okay, so end of topic test coming soon. Woo! Let this be you, okay? Make sure it is prepared for next Thursday, okay? Unless I tell you otherwise. We'll put into practice everything that you've learned so far, so let this be you. Remember, there is a reminder that this is not a way for us to punish you, but surely to check how much we need to revise. If we revise as we go along with the course, then it's much easier than having to go back through all of it again at the end of 18 months, by which time you've forgotten everything at the beginning. So revise properly for it, give it a go, give it your best shot, and let this be you. So show me what you got. As always, tweet one thing you've learned about this lesson, creative hashtags encourage, but only appropriate tweets. Catch you next time.